Well, the opioid epidemic dominated headlines in 2018. 290 people in Knox County alone died of a suspected overdose. That's just 3 less suspected OD deaths than 2017, according to the Knox County District Attorney General's office. The number of OD deaths for 2018 could change as autopsies are finalized.
Well, the start of the new year means dozens of new laws going into effect right here in Tennessee.
And that includes some laws to help fight the opioid epidemic. WBIR 10 News reporter Leslie Ackerson is breaking down some of these new laws this morning. Good morning.
Today, 31 new laws go into effect here in Tennessee, and these are all bills that state lawmakers passed last year. It includes a few bills to fight the opioid crisis. In 2018, there were more than 280 suspected overdose deaths in Knox County. One new law creates an opioid hotline managed by the Department of Health. It allows the department to create a number where people can report opioid abuse or diversion. The department is required to refer the reports to a health board or law enforcement agency. Another law allows pharmacists to partially fill an opioid prescription. Meanwhile, another new law is called the Suicide Mortality Review and Prevention Act. It creates a suicide review program to research suicide statistics and prevent more suicide deaths. You can read much more about all of the new laws going into effect on our website, WBIR.com. The Tennessee General Assembly reconvenes 1 week from today on January 8th at noon.